Good morning, everyone. In the previous session of Human Resource Management, I explained about on-the-job training methods, means the training which is provided within the organization. In this session, I am going to explain off-the-job training methods, which means training is provided outside the organization, either by creating a separate training center or the organization can ask other institutions to provide training to their employees. Okay, so first of all, in this session, I am going to explain all the methods which come under this category, that is off-the-job training methods, and then I am going to explain what are the various advantages and disadvantages of this method. Clear? So let's begin the session. So first of all, off-the-job training methods basically means that the training is provided outside the organization, means the training is not provided within the organization. The employees who are selected for the job, they do not actually join the job. They do not learn the job while they do not get trained while doing the job. They go to a separate environment, separate institution, or a separate situation environment created by the organization. They just simply learn each and every aspect of their job, and after completing their training they go to the organization and join their job. So these methods, the methods which come under these off the job training, these are considered to be more effective than on the job training, because here the employees do not have to focus on actually do not have to focus on the actual performance of the job. They can give their complete time. They can entirely focus on learning the job. They can learn by making mistakes also, and those mistakes are not going to prove very expensive for the company because they are not doing the actual job. So here in this method they can completely focus on training aspect. Their attention is not diverted by the job. So these methods are considered to be more effective and more beneficial in comparison to on the job methods, because in on the job methods they are actually doing the job, and any kind of mistake or wastage will have serious consequences, which does not exist in this method. Okay, so on the screen you can see the various methods which come under off the job training methods. Vestibule training, lecture method. There are around 11 types of off the job training methods, and organizations can use any of these methods depending upon the job descriptions, job specification, according to the requirements of the organization, as well as according to the capabilities and potentials of the candidates who are appointed for a job. Okay, so the first method which comes under off the job training method is vestibule training. So vestibule training simply means that there are different centers which are known as vestibules and which provide training to the employees or the selected candidates. So in this method, a center which is called vestibule is created, where where a duplicate environment of the original working environment of the company is created. A simulation program is created where we can say that they simply copy down the entire organizational environment in the vestibule training method. So in that simulation, trainees they go and learn what they are supposed to do on the job. So in vestibule training, expert trainers are appointed, and in that created artificial environment which is created by the vestibule training center, in that artificial environment the trainees learn how to do the job. Each and every aspect of the job is each and every aspect of the job is taught to the trainees by the expert trainers. Now we can say that the employees can completely focus on the training because they do not have to focus on the performance of the job. They are simply here to learn about their job, what are the things they are supposed to do under their job, and what are the things they need to avoid. So these are the things which are taught in an artificial environment created by the organization, and these centers are referred as vestibule. Here the next method is lecture method. Lecture method is very simple. Here, the expert trainers communicate with a large group of trainees and they explain them about the job in the form of a talk, like we used to teach in the classroom. We give lecture and you all students listen to it. You understand each and every aspect of the subject. In the same way, the trainer will explain each and every aspect of the each and every aspect of the job to the trainees. Now, this method is considered to be very important as well as less expensive, because a large number of trainees can take part in this method. A single lecturer can give lecture to large number of trainees and it is very cost effective, and many trainees can learn a lot of things by listening to what the lecturer is speaking about the job. So this is also one of the important methods of the job training. Clear? The next one is apprenticeship method. Now you must have remembered that I explained this method under on-the-job training also. See, this method can be used as on-the-job method and off-the-job method, but the way it is used, it is completely different. In on-the-job, a senior is given the responsibility to teach a subordinate or to teach a junior. But in apprentice method, traditional method, there are different centers even created by government, ITI centers, which teach different types of crafts to the students. They learn them and they master the craft, and then they go and join the organization. And they also get some kind of stipend by learning also. So this method simply states that there are various types of separate institutions which provide learning regarding different types of skills. And these methods are used for semi-skilled and unskilled workers. They get admission in those institutions. They learn about creation of furniture or some kinds of architect, or they even learn to become a mechanic. So these type of things are taught in those apprenticeship programs in those ITI centers, and they complete their education regarding based on a particular type of job, and then they go and join an organization. So this is the apprenticeship method. Next one is classroom training. Now, classroom training here simply means that the education provided by different colleges, universities to the students. Now, these colleges and universities provide training in terms of different types of courses and all. Students learn these different elements, different subjects. After their education, they can go apply in any kind of organization and try to find a job. So in this classroom training method, practical approach of teaching is also used, theoretical teaching is also used, and different other types of training, different types of games, and many other things are used in this classroom training. So the students can learn what they are going to face in future when they will actually join an organization. So classroom training method is also considered to be one of the important of the job training methods. Clear? The next one is internship method. Now here there is a collaboration between these colleges and universities with the organization. Now the students, they go for a limited time period to these organization. They either do some kind of job, they learn some aspects of particular job, whether it is regarded to finance, HR, marketing, or production. They learn different aspects of this job, and if the organization want, they can also these students can also get paid for this internship training. So in the internship training, the colleges and the companies collaborate, and these students go to such organizations, work for limited number of days, and they learn different kinds of things regarding the organization, regarding the job, and various other elements of the job. So in the internship training also, they do not get complete knowledge regarding job, but when they work as one of the employee, not on a permanent basis, but when some kind of work is given to the students by the organization, they learn a lot of things. They learn about the working environment of the organization. They learn how they have to follow the directions of the superior, how they have to work as a team, how they have to follow the instruction, what are the different elements of the job. So they do not have complete knowledge, but they have some knowledge regarding the jobs which they may be doing in future. Here, the next method which I am going to explain is called conferences. So this conference method is basically used because lecture method has some kind of limitation. Because in lecture method, it is to some extent kind of one-way communication. The trainer gives lecture to the trainees, and the lecturer cannot communicate with each and every trainee. So that is one of the biggest disadvantage of lecture method. But in conference method, a group of trainees are given a topic for discussion. A conference is in a conference room. This group of trainees are asked to go there. They sit down. They are given a situation, a problem, or a topic, and they discuss among themselves about the topic. There will be a trainer who will be observing the behavior of the trainees, and they will be exchanging ideas, point of views. There will be discussion, even conflict, argument. So this will help the trainees to learn a lot of things. They can understand about different perspectives coming from different trainees. What is the best idea? What is the best alternative solution what are the various alternative solution for a problem? And then finding out the best solution for solving a problem. So this method is considered to be more beneficial in comparison to lecture method, where a group of trainees can discuss, they can exchange ideas, views, and opinions, and then they can come to a conclusion regarding finding a solution for the problem or any kind of situation provided to them. Okay. The next method is called role play. So in this role playing method, what happens? Each and a situation is given where there will be different characters. Now these characters will be basically different positions within the organization. There may suppose there is a situation in the production department and 4 people are involved in the situation: production manager, foreman, worker, supervisor. So these many people are involved, and the trainees are asked to play role of these people. One will be production manager, another will be foreman, worker, and all that. So an artificial situation will be created, and each trainee will be asked to play a particular role. They need to understand the situation properly, and then they will keep themselves in the position of that particular role, and then they will enact how they will try to solve the situation. They will give their opinion, they will justify their points, they will discuss how they are supposed to manage this situation or solve this problem. So each and every trainee will actually get involved in this situation. They can understand what kind of difficulties people face while doing a particular job, and what kind of difficulties other people face. Because for example, a person is playing a production manager, that same person needs to understand the problems faced by a foreman, supervisor, or a worker. So this will help the trainees to understand in a clear manner that even if other people have different situations, different problems, and how to understand their situation and problem and then try to solve a solution. So role playing is considered to be very effective because the trainees put themselves in the shoes of others. They understand the situation, they understand the pressure and responsibility for each and every role they play. So this proves to be a very beneficial and effective method for training. Clear? The next method which I am going to explain is called program learning. Basically, program learning has 3 steps. Okay. So the first step is basically presentation of a situation, problem, or any kind of scenario. The second step is that trainees are allowed to respond regarding the situation. They need to give what is their opinion and point of view regarding the situation, and how and how they will try to solve the problem. And the third step is providing feedback to those trainees regarding their response. Regarding their response. So in this feedback, the trainer will explain to what extent their solution and response was correct, and what are the mistakes they made, and to how they can overcome such mistakes. So basically the trainees are given a situation, a problem, then their responses are recorded, and then they're provided feedback to their responses so that they can understand what are the things which they have done correctly, and what are the things what are the areas and things in which they have to make improvement. Okay, so this is a program learning method. So in the program learning method, one of the basic problem with this is that the employees, the candidates, the trainees do not learn something more than the textbook. Means they can get all the information from the textbook. So it's just like a textbook study. So this method also has many limitations. It does not provide that much kind of opportunity to the trainees to learn something else, to learn something more. So even if there are many problems with program learning, this is basically used for training the workers in order to how to operate a machine or something like that. But still this method is very popular in many organizations. Okay, the next one is case study method. So case study simply means that a situation which may have happened in the organization. In the case study, the actual situation, each and every aspect of the actual situation will be mentioned, and whether it is any kind of environmental factor which created such situation, organizational elements. So each and every element which has already happened in the organization will be mentioned in detail in the case. Now what the trainees are supposed to do? The trainees need to go through the case properly. They need to understand the situation. They need to understand the scenario in which the situation takes place, and then they are supposed to give a solution so they can get a proper solution for the problem which is mentioned in the case study. So this is also one of the most important and effective method of the job training method, because the trainees learn a lot about the history of the company, how the company has faced different and difficult situations, and how they have overcome such kind of situations, how they have solved many kind of complicated situations. So this method has also proved to be very effective. The next one is group discussion method. So group discussion method is, we can say that it is response between two or more people. A particular topic or situation will be given, where each and everyone's response will be recorded, and this response of a person will again will come out in reaction to others' response. For example, one person has mentioned or gave his opinion regarding the situation. The other person may agree with him or her, or the other person can give contradictory opinion or solution to the person's opinion. So in this kind of discussion, a group can learn a lot of things. They can understand about different point of views and opinions. There will be argument, there will be we can say understanding of others' point of view, argument, even they can agree with their other members of the group discussion team. So this also this also proves to be a very beneficial method, because they learn how to state their opinion, how to understand the situation, give their opinion, understand the important elements of the situation. So this method is also very useful. And the last method of the job training is called in-basket method. So this is a simulation where some of the informations will be given, like telephone calls or memos or something. These kind of information will be provided to the trainees. Now the trainees have to simply arrange this in a particular order. They have to understand what are these memos and telephone calls and these information mean. They need to understand and arrange all the information in a proper manner so that they have a clear idea what are these information actually mean. So that is called in basket method. Okay, the last method which I mentioned here under study is the method of on the job training. In my previous session I left this point, so that's why I have included this point in this slide, that it is the last method. So this one is the last method of on the job training. So in understudy, it simply means that a superior will be given a subordinate and the superior will teach each and every element of his job to the subordinate. So this method is basically used when a person is supposed to get retired and the junior person is supposed to be promoted to the retired person's position. So understudy method means the person will be given, a person will be given a subordinate who is supposed to replace him or her in future, and that superior will teach each and every element of the job, how to manage the job, how to interact with other people, how to manage different situations. So that is called understudy method. Okay, now I am going to explain what are the various advantages of the job training method. So first of all, it is well organized and conducted by expert. So like I said, in lecture method, experts will be given lectures. In vestibule training, experts will be giving training to the employees or the candidates. In apprenticeship method, in ITI centers, experts, craftsmen will teach the candidates, the students, how to do their job, how to they will teach about a particular kind of element, like whether like it is related to technical element or any other things. So expert trainers provide training to the trainees, which makes the learning process more and more effective, and trainees learn trainees learn from the expert, and they learn a lot of things, they gain knowledge, they understand how to do the job properly and efficiently. The next one is it is conducted outside the organization and trainees are not involved in the production process. So this saves like energy, this reduces the pressure on the trainees, like which they face in on the job training, that they have to do the job, at the same time they have to learn how to do the job. Now any kind of mistakes and any kind of wastage can prove to be like we can say prove to be dangerous for the employees as well as for the organization. It may have any kind of negative consequences. So this protects the trainees. They provide a tension-free and stress-free environment to the trainee, where they can entirely focus on learning aspect rather than focusing on production process. Okay. The next point is trainees are trained outside the organization, which reduces errors and wastages. So obviously when trainees are provided training outside the organization, they are not doing their job. So whatever wastage they are supposed to, they are not going to actually make any kind of wastage, because everything will be conducted in a restricted environment where they know what to do and what not to do. So errors are reduced, or even if they make mistake, it is not that kind of problematic in case of on the job method, because when in on the job method they make any kind of mistake, it is going to cost them, whether in terms of like in any kind of situation. If they make more and more mistake, that will create frustration among the superiors, that will lead to wastage, that will increase the cost of production or any other situation which does not exist in off the job method. So even if they, first of all, the wastage is not too high, the wastages do not contribute to the production. So that is one of the biggest advantage of off the job training methods. The next one is large number of trainees can participate. Like I said, in lecture method, in apprentice method, or any kind of method, large number of people can get training, which is not possible in on-the-job method. Limited number of people can only get training, because the superior needs to focus on each and every employee while doing their job. And if any kind of mistake is done, then it will create serious issues. But in off-the-job methods, a large number of trainees can be provided training without any kind of problem, and the learning, because it is entirely focused on the learning aspect, there is no pressure on the employees, and they learn in a better environment, and they learn a lot of things which is not possible in on-the-job training method. And the last advantage is that trainees are not allowed in actual workplace. So it does not mean, first of all, in on-the-job method, when trainees are operating the machines which are actually used for production, it hampers the production process. The skilled, the experienced person has to wait until the training is over. But this is not the situation in off-the-job method. The actual workers, the actual employees do not have to wait for their turn for doing their job. They do their job separately, and trainees get their training in a separate area. So there is no interaction between them. There is no misunderstanding. There is no conflict between them. There is no wastage of time in them. So the workers will be working, they will be doing their job, and the trainees will get training. So they are not actually allowed in the workplace. So a lot of time is saved. The actual employees do not have to put in time for training the trainees. Okay. Now I'm going to explain the disadvantages of the job method. First of all, it is very expensive because they have to create a training center where artificial environment needs to be created. Trainers need to be appointed. So this involves a large amount of money, which is not in the case of off-the-job method. So in comparison to off-the-job method, in comparison to on-the-job method, off-the-job method is very expensive. Now, another disadvantage is that it is less effective. So why it is considered to be less effective? First of all, the trainees are working in an artificial situation, which may be completely different from the real situation which they will face after completion of training and when they will join the job. So there may be huge difference between the working environment of the job training centers and the real working environment. So that may be extremely less effective because they have learned in a restricted environment. They have limited access to different things. Even if they are given different types of problem, these problems are properly created for them. But while working in the organization, they can face any kind of problem which is sudden in nature, which is completely different, which they have never have faced in the training process. So in comparison to on-the-job method, it is considered to be less effective. Next one is trainees cannot learn properly. So this point says that, so here what happens, trainees cannot learn properly because this creates some kind of dissatisfaction because they are not actually doing the job. They are getting trained how to do the job, and the real situation may be completely different from the artificial situation created by the organization. So when employees get dissatisfied, they do not learn properly. Whatever they are supposed to learn, they may leave some sections which they consider not important. So trainees may not learn properly in comparison to on-the-job method, because at that situation they have to actually do their job. They cannot find a different way out from it. They have to perform, either they have to perform correctly or they have to perform it again and again till they perfect their job. But this is not the situation in on-the-job training. They can pretend that they have understood. They can skip some of the training programs or something. So like in lecture method, so many trainees are sitting, some of them won't even listen to the lecture. So that situation may happen, and because of that, the trainees cannot learn properly. And the last point of disadvantage is that potential output and time is lost in this method of training. So when large number of trainees go to a different area for the training aspect, then the time is lost, because the amount of time which is put for training can be utilized in the actual organization. So a large amount of time is lost, and the things that they are learning that could have actually contributed to the output if they have given or if they have provided on the job training. So this is the last disadvantage of the job method. The time and the output is completely lost, and that time could have been if properly used if they have been actually placed in the real organization and if they have actually worked under their job. Clear? So this is all about off the job training, different types of methods, advantages and disadvantages. In the next session, I am going to explain the HRD interventions, what are the different elements in it, and then I am going to explain about executive development or executive training, because these training methods are basically for workers, for clerical jobs and other middle level kind of jobs. Now there are different training methods for higher level jobs also, which comes under executive development. Okay. So in the next session, I'm going to explain these topics, and that's it for today. We will meet in the next session. Thank you.